Hi, hello everyone. My name is Eleonora Brizi. If you will ever get bored, not bored apes, just bored, in the next 15 minutes, just let me know. I am an art curator, or at least I try to be for whatever that means. I have been in the crypto art space since 2018. This is what I have created. The name is Brizi. It is curatorial, I don't know how you want to call it, brand. We do art curation, digital and crypto art. I had this amazing encounter with crypto art in New York in 2018. I was coming from China. I was with studio, Chinese contemporary art, and I studied Chinese and I graduated in Chinese culture. So for me, it made a lot of sense to be in Beijing and China. But then when I had to leave that country and be involved in the contemporary art world in general, I really didn't want to be there because, you know, like in my mind, it's museums are dead places and galleries is something that I really didn't want to be part of. So I flew to New York and I met all the crypto art people, Dada, CryptoPunks, rare PEPE people. Rare PEPE is actually the first contact that I ever had with the community. And, you know, in a second, I just thought that it made a lot of sense for me. And I thought that where was I not knowing about the most creative contemporary art space until like I heard about PEPEs and all these other creators. Yeah, so who is an art curator? I don't know. And I think the people who try to define art curators don't know either. Art curators are, I mean, I received this book from a person the past month about like title How to Become an Art Curator. I read a little and then I had a conversation with my friend in Mexico and we were talking about art and he was like, just throw the book, never read it again. You're just unlearning everything that you've ever built by yourself. So there's no definition there. The only thing that I can tell you is that first of all, I always thought that we really need art curation in general in art, but especially in the crypto art space because we need to create content to tell stories about the artists and the art. And regarding the art curators, the only thing that I know is that we have the big, enormous privilege of having contacts and having to deal with artists. And artists are probably the only people in society who have the chance to get a glimpse, like to get in touch, to get in contact a little bit with the future. And so our curators are contributing to the building of the future together with the artists, and they do it through translating. So art already by definition uses an universal language, and curators should help even more for art and the future seen through the artist's eyes and then translated to an aesthetic that we understand to be understood amongst people. Now here, this is a problem for me. The space has changed a lot. As I used to say, I think that we are in the AC era. So there was a BC before, not Christ, but Christus, and AC after Christus. Now we are in after Christus time. And seems like following Twitter and people on Twitter, we are a little bit too concentrated, curators as well, but everyone in being influencers. So now I'm really focusing on how to be influential without being an influencer. Probably the path of being an influencer is a little easier. You know, like you open Twitter, there's a lot of GM, GN, it's a lot of G's. And the first time that I even heard this thing, I was like Googling it. I didn't understand what that was. I asked my cousin to help me to find it, and we found that it was like a type of marijuana used in LA, GM. And then only after like a few days, I was like, but I mean, there must be something else. And it was something very big, good morning. So yes, this is probably, I also even tried to make like an ironic post, like I was in Washington Square Park in New York, I was drinking a coffee, I posted a photo, I wrote like, should I write GM or GN, or like maybe should I write, crypto art is democratized, and do you want to join the revolution? And then everyone actually answered, good morning, Eleonora, like, hello, GM, GM, GM. And then when I post my, curatorial text, every day I pick an NFT and I write very personal sentences about it to create this diary through art, I received probably less than a half of the likes that I got with a photo in Washington Square Park. So let's try. This is really is like an open call from me to all the people in the space. You don't have to be OGs, or you don't have to have been there since 2018. We love new people and we want new people as long as they bring some content and they help the space to grow. So the first thing to understand is that I was just talking to these guys earlier. The space was not consigned to Christians and people or whoever, or for everyone coming now and using it. It was built during the years, so that is the first thing to understand. And the second thing to understand is that now we need to concentrate to be influential. For instance, the coders are the most influential people that we have in the space, but they're not influencers, they're pretty much invisible. So I try to, with my art curation, I try to work on something which is not that visible, but which is everyone is going to benefit from, and which will create a real change. So I always ask myself, like, if you are having 1,000 panels talking about how to curate digital art in the metaverse, when do you ever have the time to curate digital art in the metaverse? Yes, and then the next step was the metaverse. So we started with blockchain and NFTs, and then the metaverse came. We can't take any meta anymore. There is metaverse, metaverse, meta from Facebook, and I was like, like until now, the only meta that I ever know was the bones, Metatarus and Metacarp. So, but metaverse, of course, is an amazing space, and again, it's the next level for art curation. So try also to understand how to curate art in the metaverse. How do you do that? Okay, first of all, this is a lot of money, which I won't talk about because I get emotional. But this is Arium platform. So, for instance, I always try to find new ways of just to curate, presenting and talking about art. And at the beginning of 2021, before Beeple, I was introduced by a friend in New York to this platform, which is called Arium. This platform was built during COVID because the students at NYU couldn't have their final year show anymore because it got canceled because of COVID. And so these coders and these guys just programmed an entire platform to give them the chance to still showcase their art. And now they had this platform in their hands, and they're like, what are we going to do with this? So it didn't have anything to do with the blockchain, but then when I saw the platform and, I saw, I understood the potential, basically, the social aspect and the fact that it's very user-friendly and that you can just log in with your webcam and microphone if you want to and talk to people. You can even have, meetings in there and being surrounded by art. I just thought, and I proposed to Hackatao, maybe we should do something with this, and then we brought Arium to the crypto art space. So now everyone is using Arium, and I think that it's a good example of how a curator should be open to new possibilities and improve the space. This is a show that we had. It's a collaboration between Hackatao and Moses by Italian master Guercino. It's very basic space because Arium was at its beginnings. Then this is another project that I curated, of course, Hackatao for Christie's with Leonardo da Vinci. It's the head of a bear. They brought the head of a bear da Vinci drawing to life, into the metaverse with this amazing 3D sculpture. This is also the show that we organize in Arium. Arium again. This is the Blondie project that we did with Hackatao. And you know, the first time that we had a show in Arium, I remember some people from here came to visit me. It was really like, it was a blessing. It was possible for friends from New York and all over the world to come to visit with their faces, asking questions about the show, and walk together, look at the art. So something different from crypto voxels, which it's good, but it's very different. This is another amazing space that we have created on Arium, and it is the space of Well community, the Vault. I'm sure that many of you know about this amazing collection by Well. The space, it's even possible to create like architectural models. If you look more closely, you will see that it has the shape. It's inspired by the shape of a well. And now there's even like another amazing thing that you can do on Arium. I'm not from Arium family, I just really love it. I don't work for them. It's like you can have a portal, so you don't have to delete your previous shows anymore, but you just go into the entrance and you have different doors and you go to all these galleries that, for instance, we create Brizi and Well together each month, and you can have all the spaces forever. This is another show that I curated for Well for the month of December, X-Copy, of course. Okay, this from now on is just a little examples of how I have been dealing with my art curation, and examples of how you can curate it, you can create content, and you can push the space. It could be, for instance, with artists. In this case, I am presenting here Hackatao. This is a synergy that was born at the end of 2019. It never ended. It's a love story. We basically started to work together and saw the space grow together, faced everything together, when it's just before people, during people, after people, when everything got crazy, you know, until now when people only care about PFPs. It was an adventure. This again is the Blondie project. It's just to give you some examples. For instance, for this curation, Blondie, so Debbie from Blondie created a poem about hacking the borders, and Christine, the guitar player, created a track. So this is also another example of how collaboration is very, very strong and possible in crypto art. We have some of the most amazing bands together with Hackatao, you know, like from very different times, you know, punk and crypto art sharing the same spirit and still wanting to tell the world that, you know, we should hack the borders, especially those of any kind of borders, especially those of the mind. This you already know about this. This is another great project that we have done. Again, a collaboration. Hackatao, they created the back of a canvas of Fontana that you all know. Actually, with Zanini Gallery in Italy. So we had a physical art show for this, and of course, there was a digital art piece. Again, always trying to find. Trying to demonstrate that art is a continuum, and if it has different times and different names, it's only because we gave it to it. Otherwise, nothing ever changed. So, as Lapin will say, sometimes crypto artists are accused not to create art at all, but really, it just depends on us and how we call it. It's like the voice of art is always the same, only the voice has changed. Well, this is the example of our curation of a collection, of an art collection. So I am very, very much into this right now, to curate collections. Why? Because when I curate collections and I treat them as permanent collections, first of all, I try to speak the language that the art world can understand. So really trying to get the space ready for when the real institutions will come, not when like auction houses come and they take, you know, everything that was built and resell, but when museums will start to come, or people who are interested in contemporary art will start to come, they will find collections structured in a way that they understand and with a content that they can understand. So I think that it's a very good step for a real bridge. this is about the Well community, officially funded by Well Shark, and it is one of the largest holders of rare digital art. The collection is called The Vault, and it's this big collaboration that we started in October with Brizi, so each month. And I love it because I don't have to sell anything. It's not about organizing a drop. There's not the pressure of the market, but there is the pressure of creating content each month, presenting one artist or a group of artists or a theme. And it is amazing because when you have to interview these artists, sometimes, you know, you have to interview X copy and he, she, they don't want to be interviewed, but still, like, there are 24 pieces in the vault, and I interviewed X copy through 24 questions on the email, and instead of talking about who are you, when did you start, we talked about life through the art pieces, so I got 24 answers. Or you have people like Giants one who's very public and he comes to the space and talks for hours. So it's been a very good adventure. So yes, our curation, we do interviews, we do the live shows on Arium, and we do press releases, and we do everything that the specific artist of the month feels comfortable with, which is very important for me. Yes, and then this is just an example of our curation of an exhibition, physical. This was called, in the end, the Miracle Show. It happened between 2 lockdowns in Rome in 2020. I was the first. No, I'm kidding. No, maybe no, I'm not kidding. Well, yeah, this is a crypto art show that happened in Rome in 2020. We had, of course, Hackatao. This was the cover photo of piece of the show. It was very romantic. We did it after COVID. I mean, we thought that it was after COVID, but it was between the two COVID times. And we try to look at this Renaissance 2.0 for whatever that means. Now it means many things. It was meaning many things in 2020, and now it means many other things. Yes, this is just photos from the show. It was very interactive. And I just want to conclude saying that I think, again, that we should try to be influential, all of us, in order to push the space. I have been having a very great adventure in the crypto art space and NFTs, but of course I'm always looking forward and to the future, to new things. If you ask me about my personal hope and desire, is to see more art embedded together with the technology. So I'm really, really looking forward to curate, art created with smart contracts, where you don't have the distinction anymore, where you don't have to talk about the tool anymore. But this is just one of the one pieces of the huge potential that we have here in this space. And for me, it's all about telling stories of the artists, of the art, of the journey, of the creation and everything, to create content and to try to just translate the beauty of this space. Thank you.